Do you know who I am?
Yes, I recognize you, John, but I do not recognize this place. Am I dead? No! Am I dead?
No, Dargo, you aren't dead. And neither am I. I'm here for Season 2 Deep Dive Recaps. We return to the action, or non-action, in Farscape shortly after the Season 1 cliffhanger. A cliffhanger miraculously resolved off-camera. I know the episode started with an unrelated scene with Zan, but I will address that another time when it connects with a later episode. Everyone's tense at the beginning of Mind the Baby. Crichton is tense because he's stuck on an asteroid.
This rock gets a 9 on atmosphere, but only 2 on food and water.
Dargo is tense because the whole situation stinks.
So now we have to evade Scorpius. And then we have to find Crace, remove him from Talon. Who the yachts named him Talon?
Erin is tense because she's being duplicitous.
Don't forget I have to give Crichton a reason for my absence.
He still has no knowledge of our arrangement?
None.
It might facilitate matters if you explain to him.
No.
Eventually, you'll have to.
Only when it's too late for him to interfere.
Three tense people of different species lead to confrontation.
Dargo's awake. We get out of the asteroid, we signal to Moya, she comes and she picks us up.
We don't even know if Moya is in range, and we can't outrun a command carrier, so we have to remain hidden until the carrier withdraws.
What if it never does?
Well, Scorpius can't look for us forever, and he can't even be certain that you survived.
Aaron, Scorpius wants me pretty bad. His patience may outlast our Prowler's fuel.
When the Prowler's fuel runs out, we starve. As John once said, I would rather go down on a swing.
Swinging. You want to cut out the swinging.
Swing.
The only reason we'll starve is if you don't stop this useless discussion and let me keep searching for food.
This discussion...
Stop it! Both of you! If not for me, you'd both be dead, all right? So stop fighting me!
This asteroid should be labeled Plot Convenience 201b, and it's currently at its closest approach to Earth, though light years away from reality. Same as with the asteroid in Bone to be Wild, asteroids aren't massive enough to retain an atmosphere. Anyway, the asteroid has enough atmosphere for our three tense heroes to have an argument. 2, actually, but we'll get to that in a bit. Mind the Baby is a busy episode, with 4 plot threads going on simultaneously. In addition to Dargo and Crichton stranded on Plot Convenience 201b, we have Crace on Talon,
Talon, stop this senseless behavior. Your mother has gone. Do you understand?
we have Chiana and Rigel on Moya,
Is Moya unclear on the concept of why we ran away?
She insists on searching for her offspring, despite the risk.
A peacekeeper command carrier is slightly more than a risk.
and we have our new villain and his henchmen.
All patrols still report nothing, sir. No signal from the Leviathan offspring, no trace of Crichton. Nothing.
Because Scorpius is out there, Aaron had to make an executive decision.
You're not gonna like what I have to say.
Maybe not.
In order to save your lives, I had to make a deal with Crace.
What?
Slow down.
Stop. You had to what?
By the time I retrieved you, Moya had gone, you were both about to suffocate. And then Crace signaled me from Talon with the coordinates to an oxygen atmosphere asteroid.
This asteroid.
Yes, asteroid plot convenience 201b.
What's your end in this deal?
When Moya left, Talon got upset, stopped obeying Crace. I agreed to help calm Talon down and teach him to start obeying Crace's orders.
Oh, that makes sense. You're helping Talon obey the guy who
Kidnapped him!
I didn't have another choice!
You should have let us die!
No, I couldn't have.
That offspring has weaponry! And you've put that weaponry within the grasp of Crace.
Oh, what would you prefer, Dargo? That Scorpius gets Talon or destroys Talon? Right now, even Krace's control is better than no control at all.
Right now? I mean, when exactly is that gonna change, Aaron? After Krace has brainwashed him, he's gonna give him back.
I told you you wouldn't like what I had to say.
I don't.
Neither do I.
Yeah, well, it's all we have.
No, it isn't.
So Crichton charges after Krace. He's now a Prowler pilot, remember? Just as Aaron made a hold-her-nose deal with Krace, Krace has made an even more detestable deal.
Please, confirm.
Scramble confirmed. Proceed.
The gunship is still...
Not my concern. Where's Crichton?
Officer Sun won't tell me yet. Building her trust is time-consuming, as is building the gunship's trust. The latter task is made no easier when the gunship is panicked by your spurious transmissions.
Your progress report was overdue. I concluded you were incapacitated, and I attempted to retrieve the gunship.
Then it is among your concerns.
As a means to recovering Crichton, no more. Deliver Crichton to me, and I will allow you to keep the gunship.
Demonstrate some of the formidable patience you always bragging you possess.
My patience is formidable, Grace. But it is not infinite.
Scorpius's formidable single-mindedness is now fully evident. Krace is walking a fine line, but he's doing well playing the poor hand fate has dealt him. Talon is literally a lifeboat for Krace, though we've seen hints that Talon means something more than that to Krace. Krace is being more level-headed than Crichton, who has arrived on Talon. How he knew where Talon was is... anyway.
What do you want, Crichton?
Oh, a couple of things. Your head on a platter, for starters.
I'm unarmed. You can kill me easily. Be warned, however, Talon regards me as a friend.
Interesting. I heard that you had a long way to go in that department.
I have. Nevertheless, I believe he would react badly to my death and retaliate by killing you.
Oh. Well, but if you're dead, he's out of your clutches. Fair price to pay, I'd say.
You don't get the keys to Moya's baby.
Talon? Intruder.
You're about to lose your head. Not that Talon to put away the toys.
Crichton's the one who's lost his head. He's being an overly emotional cowboy. Meanwhile, back on Moya...
That module thing of Crichton's is still operational. We could let Moya go on without us.
We could. Not that any planet in this vicinity was very hospitable.
Paladin and Moya didn't abandon us during Sand's trial. We can't ditch. We have to stick.
Wait, what trial? Interesting story, but again, I will address that in the recap of a later episode. In this episode, Talon calls for Mommy, and Crichton arrives with Krace.
It's you.
You want to check my birthmarks?
Yeah, maybe. Why didn't you signal?
Because the bad guys might be listening.
Okay, so what are you doing with him?
What, this guy? Putting this guy back in his seat.
Crichton has to rush back to pick up Dargo and Aaron, and how the three of them fit into the two-person Prowler is left unexplained. Talon panics and makes a break for it.
There's no mistake, sir. The gunship is leaving the asteroid field and Moya is pursuing.
Follow them, but stay well clear of their sensor range. They must not see us until they are too far from the asteroid field to hide again.
But we won't be able to catch the Leviathan if she starbursts.
She won't because her offspring can't. On my signal. cripple both ships. Commando units will take Triton alive, but I care for no other prisoners. Clear?
Moya chases Talon, unable to calm him. Aaron is also unable to calm him. Crais knows something.
You're an atypical Luxon, Cardago. You left your military service to raise a family upon a rural planet.
Spare me your disapproval.
I don't. I lived upon a farming community until the peacekeepers conscripted me.
My wife was a Sabatian. Tell me you approve of that.
No. I find it repellent. But that reaction, the concept of irreversible contamination, was instilled in me by the peacekeepers. As such, it needs to be questioned, re-examined.
A containment cell is a fine place for reflection.
True, Pao Zhan achieved much during her incarceration, but I cannot stay here. Talon needs me.
Too thrilling bad.
Your hatred of me, though well-earned, blinds you. I can keep Talon out of peacekeeper hands, and I will.
You're not getting back aboard, Talon. Get used to the idea. Re-examine it.
I shall. Before you were arrested, were you happy?
Happier than you can ever imagine.
Then I envy you.
Crais has a newfound confidence, a swagger the opposite of his defeated meekness the previous time he was in that cell. Meanwhile...
Both Leviathans are decelerating.
Either they have no plan whatsoever.
That would be correct, Scorpy.
Or they're about to implement one. Which isn't immediately apparent. Our wisest move in both cases is the same. Overtake and engage.
You aren't the only one engaging.
Damn, what the hell is he doing?
Talon says that was a warning shot. He's sending Moya a demand.
What's he want?
A captain. Talon's afraid. He doesn't know what to do about the approaching command carrier.
Oh, like we do?
He insists he needs guidance.
Ouch. Well, let's get that boy some guidance before he turns into a full-blown Menendez brother.
I'll go at once.
Talon demands that we send over Crais.
What?
He said he wants
You
Crais?
can't have him. Pilot, get that boy on the phone.
He's unwilling to discuss it further. He says he'll fire upon us unless we agree to return Crais now.
Pilot evasives.
Moya won't. She doesn't believe he'll fire.
Pilot, let's get that defense screen up just in case Mama's wrong.
Done. But it may not hold.
To make another tense argument short, Aaron insists the best option is for her and Crais to board Talon and give him guidance.
Your nephew wants to see you.
I knew he would, eventually. Officer Sun, make your choice.
I want to go with you.
Crichton, this is a beneficial turn of events for all concerned. With the happy exception of Scorpius.
Crais, I don't like this plan, and I never will. So you better behave yourself with Talon and Aaron. Because if you hurt either one of them, I'm gonna hunt you down.
You hunt me down. That would complete the symmetry nicely, wouldn't it?
Aaron is still being level-headed, but Talon has other ideas.
Very close to Moya, and her starburst will carry us all to safety. What is that?
It's the hand of friendship. It's the greatest honor it can bestow.
Talon. Who's it for? Thank you. I humbly accept.
No, Talon. Talon? Talon, what's happening? Talon, what have you done? What is that?
A neural transponder. A direct interface with Talon. His sensors, his propulsors, his weaponry. I command them all.
You command him.
Every system. It's indescribable. It's a pity you can't experience it.
Kreese, we were going to share command of Talon.
Chose otherwise.
Take it off, or I will!
After a brief scuffle, Aaron scurries back to Moya, and Kreese takes a dig at Scorpius.
My final progress report.
Stay that command.
The gunship is secured. And I am resigning my Peacekeeper commission effective immediately.
Kreese, cease this nonsense.
As for Crichton, he is dead. I killed him with my bare hands. My brother is avenged. Here ends my report. Captain, fire upon both Leviathans.
Talon starbursts away, Moya starbursts away. Mind the Baby creates more loose ends than it resolves. But that's what a season premiere episode is supposed to do. Ponderables. I know there are a number of scenes with Zan in this episode, and it seems like I'm cutting this whole deep dive recap a little short, but I will address the Zan scenes and the interesting story behind them in the recap of the 8th episode of Season 2. And not to get weird about it, but how do they know that Talon is a male Leviathan? If anyone had doubt about whether Aaron and Crichton had really had sex on the fake Earth, that is dispelled.
I have a question. How many times have we saved each other's lives?
I've lost count.
Safe to say more than once?
Sure.
Right, and how many times have you and I been close?
Just the once.
No, not that kind of close.
Oh, friend close.
Yes.
So that wasn't part of the illusion. However, that encounter was under extreme duress. Not so the encounter at the end of the episode. I'm not convinced that Aaron would be willing to be that vulnerable with Crichton this soon. What do you think? At one point, Pilot says the command carrier will be in range in 6,000 microts. That's interesting because we've deduced that a microt is about the same as a human second. We also know about an arn, which we've assumed is roughly equivalent to a human hour. There are 3,600 seconds in an hour, and 6,000 microts would seem to be nearly 2 hours, which clearly isn't what Pilot means. Between Pilot's announcement of 6,000 microts and Aaron's of 5,000 microts until the carrier is in range, 90 seconds passed. I don't think 1,000 microts is equal to 90 seconds. Earlier in the episode, Zan says,
You have 30 microts.
And as impatient as she is at that moment, she doesn't mean 2.7 seconds. The reference to 6,000 microts is a rare mistake by the writers. If they had written 600 microts, it would have made much more sense. And why don't they have an equivalent for minutes? In the whole show, they don't. One delightful nugget in this episode is our first comic sequence between Crichton and Dargo.
Oh, paper cannot possibly be rock.
It does. Paper beats rock.
Rock rips through paper.
Dargo, that's not how it works. Paper beats rock.
Unrealistic.
Well, it's the rules, and it's not supposed to be realistic. It's supposed to be entertaining.
Like
Como was more entertaining.
It's a kid's game.
First of many. Crichton makes a cultural reference to the Menendez brothers, who, interestingly, have come up again in the news as prosecutors rethink the sentencing of the real-life murders. Farscape was years ago, but it retains relevance. I hope my deep dive recaps will retain relevance with you, dear viewer. Please help me stay relevant by donating through the Ko-Fi link below. Thank you, and see you for Season 2, Episode 2.